Right. That's all I was saying. There was a manager that was always just on my ass, some way, shape, or form, and it was just like weird, creepy energy. He was the only one that ever really came to the office, like as far as management goes. Never saw any higher ups. It was a two-person office, and I was running it by myself. Pretty easily, but they always, tried to find a problem, and that kind of happened in basically every occupation, apart from the dealership, and in which case I did pretty well. I just moved away from the last one, and that wasn't for me. Like what I was doing, um, as far as helping people, that was for me. But the way I was helping people wasn't for me. Of course, I still hold that knowledge today, right? Um, which it benefits me today. And so sometimes you have to go to the place to benefit from and obtain the knowledge and wisdom to help people the way you want to help them, right? Or the way you're meant to help them, which I guess one and the same, right? I think next was after insurance. I was done with that. I went to facilities manager, so I learned how to, change door has, like properly clean windows with the squeegee and everything. So it's like it wouldn't be hard to start my own company if that was something I really wanted to do or actually needed to do, right? And change, door sills, lighting fixtures, little bit of electrical things like that. So that was what I obtained from that, and just groundskeeping, just overall maintenance, making sure things are straight with the properties. I learned quite a bit from that place. And I was cool with everybody there. Everything was cool. It was a nice family. And had to separate just because of the situation I was in. I stayed isolated. One, because I like being by myself, and two, I just didn't want to see anybody I cared about getting hurt. You know, even if it was them doing it. And so it was best I removed myself from the situation. I think that stopped a lot of people from getting hurt when I did that. And because it wasn't true to me. And when you're not true to you, things get dangerous for you and everyone around you, right? And next was mechanic. So I got an entry level technician job, which is changing oils, tires. Learned a lot about oil and tires, and now I can do my own if I want to. Then went up to actual technician, like level 1 or something like that, and learned about different aspects. So what's under the hood and how things operate, that I can actually like visualize it in my head and give a proper diagnosis, or at least pinpoint where the problem might be. Like that's how I was able to work on my own vehicle, because I was a technician for Ford and Lexus, and learning how to properly inspect and realize where the threats and dangers were in certain vehicles or certain components of the vehicle. And cars are kind of like the human body. You got the electrical system, which is like the nervous system, this and third, depending on how modern the car is, right? Because everything's going electrical these days. And so like when I was able to fix my air filter, I had to replace my air filter and my EGR valve, because the EGR valve and cooler were detached from each other, and it was broken at the bottom and top. So the valve was the actual problem, but the cooler was also compromised, as well as the air filter. And in order to change the if I was going to change the air filter, that meant I also had to change the valve at the bottom. At the bottom and the cooler, the bolts were broken off into it, and like it was a whole, like, what is it called, a weld separation, where I had to replace that too. And like the hot air where the valve was supposed to be at the bottom was blowing extremely hot air onto the air tube, which was plastic. The what is the the air, not the air filter, it's like a tube that goes all the way to the bottom. But it was blowing hot air into on directly onto the bottom of that tube, which was causing it to melt. And what can you do with that, really? And it was making a lot of noise because the at the top, because the valve was detached, and that's what was supposed to be the exhaust gas recirculation, exhaust gas recirculation, I believe. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I still can't. I'm bad with terminology, so don't hold me to it. So I was able to do that by myself and save myself probably $1,000. Because the hourly rates for these technicians are high these days. It's like, wow. So I just went and bought the parts, found whatever tools I have, and worked from that. I could change my own brakes, I could change my own tires. Well, there's little machines you can get for at home that you can do that and change your own tires. It's a little harder than if you have a machine, and those machines aren't that expensive either, to be honest with you. I just don't have a place to put it. I might have to buy, rent out of a garage to keep it in there. But they come in handy. They do, especially when you could just buy the tires, go change the tires, and cut out the middleman. When you learn to do things for yourself, it makes your life that much more abundant, and you feel better about it because it's your work or not, depending on how well you learn from the situation. And let's see, what else? Then I went and did after I left the auto world, I came straight in. I was working on a linear generator, which was cool because it's just it's something that it's an industrialized generator, and it's more for bigger companies, like the tools department store and everything like that, home improvement stores. And I had that situation carried on there, because I didn't know how to properly heal the situation. All I had to do was speak up, but they were also blocking my chakras. So like I said, I didn't know what was going on and everything. I liked that job, actually. It was good, but then there's these different energies around me, and they got into the energies of the people around me, or it was already there. Hard to tell. One person in particular, a female, who was had this weird I don't know, it was just weird vibes with the chick. It was just no, just no. And eventually I lost that job, and then I went into solar, and I went to 3 different positions in that field, and I learned a hell of a lot that I can definitely utilize for myself. Now, just honestly haven't had the time, or when I'm off, it's just I really want that day off. I'm I would call it lazy, but I work hard. So it's just I'd rather have the day off. Yeah, but I learned how to install solar. I learned how to troubleshoot the not the cells, but the I forgot what that thing they call on it is, and the wiring. I learned how to wire J boxes, Buchanan clips, Buchanan grips, and Polaris boxes, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'm really just not. It's they get loose, and they lose their grip on the wire, and it causes so many faults to be shown on the coating and stuff like that. So anyway, I learned a lot. Only thing I really didn't get a chance to learn was bending conduit. That's probably the only thing I would like to go back and try. I'm pretty sure it's not difficult. It's just a finesse type thing, but I didn't get a chance to really do that. But everything else, pull the wire and all that, and learn voltage, amperage, and where the drops are, how to find the drops. I learned about that. Might be a little foggy in my memory, need to jog it. But yeah, it's just and this was all stuff that I love to do in the moment. And I have a lot of interest in hobbies and things I would like to learn. I'm a very curious person as to what, and it has helped me tremendously throughout my life. And since I didn't have enough money, and there was always somebody playing in my finances, that knowledge was the monkey wrench in their plans, right? That the fact that I remembered that, I held on to that, because that was a lesson I was supposed to learn there, amongst other things, internal, external. And yeah, I don't have any regrets. I don't have any resentment, because it's just like, it's all the journey, man. Whether somebody's trying to get at you or not, it's just like, it's just what you make of it. And that's just what these people fail to see while they're busy trying to sabotage things for you because they're miserable. Because only a miserable fucking person would sit there and pursue you to that point, to the point they want to sabotage you instead of letting you go and find your blessings elsewhere, right? They rather pursue you and hold on to you for dear life and hope to get one up on you. Instead, they're completely obliterating themselves from the frequency they were actually supposed to be on, which would have been probably yours. They were supposed to go with you. They just weren't supposed to oppose you as they went with you. But because they chose to oppose you, right, then they just went on their descent instead of their ascension. Yeah, that's pretty simple. And I think I'll just leave it there. It's like, my phone kept overheating because it was in direct sunlight and I didn't have the AC on or anything. So with that, again, until next video, collective, you know what to do. Yeah, I'm just sitting out and waiting to go in for training and stuff like that. But yeah, until next time, love you guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. Love yourself and each other. Drink plenty of water. And make sure to take time for self-care and healing.